We're diving into stimulants. Even your faves here. Let's dive in. Caffeine, the Robin of the stimulant world. Always around, mostly helpful, and usually in the form of a $6 latte that you pretend is necessary for survival. But here's the truth. Caffeine is a stimulant. Like an actual one. The same chemical class as meth and cocaine. Except instead of getting arrested, you get Instagrammable foam art. When you drink caffeine, whether it's coffee, energy drinks, or that suspiciously glowing bottle labeled pre-workout, it blocks a little molecule in your brain called adenosine. Adenosine makes you sleepy. Caffeine says, "Not today, loser," and slams the door shut. The result? You feel awake, alert, and ready to alphabetize your kitchen utensils for no reason. But caffeine isn't all sunshine and espresso beans. Take too much, and suddenly your heart's doing jazz hands, your stomach files a noise complaint, and your sleep quality gets steamrolled by a monster truck. Sometimes literally, because you drank 3 of them. And the withdrawals? Oh honey, say goodbye to happiness. Just 24 hours without your precious cup, and suddenly you've got a headache, existential dread, and the emotional range of a soggy mop. Still, on the danger scale, caffeine is the adorable golden retriever of stimulants. Hyperactive but mostly harmless. Nicotine is that slick, leather jacket-wearing cousin who shows up at parties, charms everyone, and then steals your wallet. It's a sneaky little alkaloid that doesn't seem too scary because it's legal and conveniently wrapped in candy-flavored vapes and chic little cigarettes. But inside your body, it's pulling strings like a toxic puppet master. Here's what it does. Nicotine binds to your nicotinic acetylcholine receptors, fancy. Tells your brain to release dopamine, hello pleasure, and makes you feel calm, sharp, and cool, all while casually turning your blood pressure into a roller coaster and your heart rate into a drum solo. And the addiction? Fast, brutal, sometimes instant. Your brain basically puts out a missing poster for nicotine every time it's gone for more than 45 minutes. And unlike caffeine, where you just get cranky, nicotine withdrawals are a Shakespearean tragedy starring anxiety, irritability, and 3 a.m. cravings that could make you lick a used patch. Nicotine is deceptively dangerous. It doesn't kill you directly, it just helps the other guys like cancer, heart disease, and stroke get backstage passes to your body. Picture this. Your brain is a messy room full of half-finished thoughts, procrastinated tasks, and a to-do list that looks like a CVS receipt. Adderall walks in like a military drill sergeant with a clipboard and screams, "We're cleaning this up now." Adderall is a prescription amphetamine, aka legal speed, used to treat ADHD. And when it's prescribed correctly, it's a life changer. But when it's not, oh boy, non-prescribed use turns your brain into a laser-guided productivity missile, at first. You feel brilliant, motivated, maybe even like you understand quantum physics, you don't. But then the crash comes, and it's less genius mode, and more panic-eating Pringles in a corner while crying about fonts. Long-term misuse can cause insomnia, heart problems, and a charming little thing called stimulant psychosis, where your brain thinks sleep is for the weak and reality is optional. Still, if taken as prescribed, Adderall has therapeutic value. But when abused, it's like turning your brain into a microwave. It heats things up fast, but try living in there. Cocaine. The name itself sounds like it comes with a trust fund and 3 yachts. It's glamorized in movies, whispered about at parties, and often shows up in the same sentence as Wall Street and questionable life decisions. But behind its sleek reputation is a drug that absolutely bulldozes your brain's reward system. Here's what it does. Cocaine blocks the reuptake of dopamine, norepinephrine, and serotonin. Translation: it traps feel-good chemicals in your brain's party zone and forces them to rave like it's 1999. You feel euphoric, unstoppable, and like you totally could launch that startup right now. But then, the high vanishes faster than your paycheck on payday, and you're left with a crash so hard it could file an insurance claim. Anxiety. Paranoia. The creeping suspicion that everyone secretly hates you. And of course, the deep, primal urge to do more cocaine. It's extremely addictive, and your tolerance builds faster than you can say just one line. The worst part, cocaine makes your heart act like it's auditioning for Fast and Furious 27. Cardiac drift. Heart attacks, seizures, strokes, all potential side effects. Fun. So yeah, fancy, yes. But also one sniff away from turning your life into a cautionary documentary. If cocaine is a wrecking ball, meth is a nuclear warhead, in the shape of tiny crystals. This is the part of the stimulant tour where things stop being mildly concerning and start being oh no please don't. Meth jacks up your dopamine levels to ridiculous, unnatural heights. Your brain isn't just happy, it's throwing confetti, breakdancing, and proposing marriage to strangers. Everything feels amazing. Until it doesn't. Meth users can stay awake for days. Not because they're productive, but because their brains are being held hostage by pure chemical chaos. And once the drug wears off, depression, anxiety, hallucinations, and a little something called tweaking. When people become paranoid, fidgety, and start disassembling electronics at 3 a.m. because they're watching me through the blender. Long-term use? Think rotting teeth, meth mouth, rapid aging, and memory loss that makes a goldfish look like an honor student. It physically rewires your brain to crave only one thing, more meth. Everything else, food, sleep, relationships, hygiene, gets thrown in the dumpster. Meth doesn't mess around. It levels your reward system, trashes your body, and laughs while doing it. No, not the stuff from Lush. The street drug called bath salts is actually a synthetic cathinone, a Frankenstein-like chemical cousin of amphetamines, but meaner, weirder, and occasionally cannibalistic. Not kidding. These stimulants are unpredictable. One dose might make you energetic. Another might convince you you're being hunted by lizard people and that your neighbor's mailbox is plotting against you. Users often report intense paranoia, violent behavior, and hallucinations that make Black Mirror episodes look like bedtime stories. Some have literally tried to fight cars. Others stripped naked in public, believing clothes were controlling their minds. And yes, there are terrifying news stories involving face eating. Let that visual sink in. What makes bath salts extra spicy is that you never really know what you're getting. It's not like there's a reliable ingredient list. It's mystery powder roulette. Spin the wheel and hope you don't end up hospitalized or featured in a viral Florida headline. Bath salts may not be as famous as cocaine or meth, but they come with the same danger level and extra glitchiness. So imagine this. You're at a lab somewhere in the middle of nowhere, wearing goggles, pouring chemicals together not to cure cancer, but to make a drug that technically isn't illegal, yet. Welcome to the world of synthetic stimulants, aka designer drugs, aka, let's play chemical Jenga with your central nervous system. These substances, things like synthetic cathinones, besides bath salts, synthetic amphetamines, and research chemicals, are made to mimic the effects of better-known stimulants while staying one step ahead of drug laws. But here's the problem. These aren't made in some pharmaceutical-grade lab with FDA approval. They're often brewed in a garage with all the quality control of a gas station sandwich. Take one, and you might feel euphoric, talkative, energized, or like you're vibrating through space-time. Take a slightly larger dose? Panic attacks, extreme aggression, seizures, or a surprise visit to the ER. It's not a high. It's a chemical gamble where the house always wins, and the prize is your frontal lobe. And just when science catches up and bans one compound, these underground chemists tweak a molecule or two and voila, a new horror is born. It's like Pokemon evolution, but every evolution is more likely to cause irreversible brain damage. If meth is a loaded gun, these synthetic stimulants are a gun duct taped to a lawnmower strapped to a raccoon. Zero predictability. Maximum chaos. Let's zoom out from high-tech designer drugs and talk about something more organic. Khat is a leafy plant native to East Africa and the Arabian Peninsula, and for centuries, people have chewed it like it's the regional version of Red Bull. Khat contains cathinone, a natural stimulant that provides a mild buzz, increased alertness, and the sudden urge to chat about life for 8 hours straight. Sounds harmless, right? Like a botanical podcast in leaf form. But here's the kicker. Just because something is natural doesn't mean it's safe. Cathinone is chemically similar to amphetamines, and chewing Khat regularly can lead to insomnia, high blood pressure, anxiety, and gastrointestinal issues. Long-term use? You may end up with a fried dopamine system and a dental situation that makes sugar addicts look like toothpaste models. Also, it's not exactly socially neutral. Khat use has been linked to economic and social issues in some communities, especially among users who prioritize chewing over, functioning in society. So while it might not be melting your brain like meth, Khat is still in the stimulant family reunion, somewhere between the quirky cousin and the uncle who can't stop talking and hasn't blinked in 3 hours. Ephedrine has a weird resume. Ancient Chinese medicine? Check. 90s diet pills? Check. Banned by the FDA for causing too many people to spontaneously turn into sweaty tornadoes of anxiety? Check. Derived from the ephedra plant, ephedrine stimulates your heart, lungs, and central nervous system. For centuries, it was used to treat asthma and congestion. Then somebody realized, hey, this stuff makes you feel like you just won a wrestling match inside a volcano, and the weight loss industry went full beast mode. But there's a dark side. Ephedrine raises your heart rate and blood pressure like it's preparing you to fight a bear. In fact, people have had heart attacks and strokes from taking it, sometimes after only a few doses. Eventually, it got banned in most over-the-counter supplements, but you can still find it in certain prescriptions and sketchy online stores that ship from places where laws are just a suggestion. So yes, it's herbal, but so is poison ivy. Use with caution, or better yet, don't. Ritalin is like Adderall's nerdy twin, less edgy, more clinically groomed, and still capable of turning your brain into a hyper-focused laser beam. Prescribed primarily for ADHD, Ritalin, aka methylphenidate, works by increasing dopamine and norepinephrine levels, helping people concentrate and organize their thoughts instead of spending 3 hours alphabetizing their Spotify playlists. When used properly under medical supervision, Ritalin can be life-changing. Tasks that once felt like climbing a mental Everest suddenly become manageable. You finish assignments. You return texts. You even remember your cousin's birthday. Well, maybe. But abuse it? And suddenly you're mainlining concentration like it's Black Friday productivity time. Students, in particular, pop Ritalin like academic steroids, cramming for exams, writing term papers at lightning speed, and forgetting that their body actually needs sleep and food. Side effects include insomnia, anxiety, appetite loss, and the classic post-buzz crash where you question all of your life choices, including why you just organized your entire Gmail inbox by color. It's not quite in the cocaine meth zone of danger, but misusing Ritalin long-term can mess with your heart, your mood, and your ability to feel motivation without pharmaceutical assistance. Basically, if you rely on it to feel normal, your brain might forget how to do that on its own. So unless it's prescribed, maybe let your productivity be fueled by coffee, guilt, and deadlines like the rest of us. Imagine a stimulant that doesn't make your heart race, doesn't cause major euphoria, and doesn't totally wreck your life. Sounds fake, right? Enter Modafinil, the overachiever of the stimulant family. Modafinil is used to treat narcolepsy and shift work sleep disorder. It promotes wakefulness by subtly tweaking dopamine and histamine in your brain, giving you a gentle mental boost without the wild swings of Adderall or the chaos of cocaine. People who take it, especially off-label, claim they can work longer, focus better, and maybe even resist the urge to scroll social media every 12 seconds. Silicon Valley folks call it a smart drug. Students call it my miracle. Sleep-deprived YouTubers call it upload fuel. But here's the thing. Just because it's cleaner doesn't mean it's harmless. Long-term effects are still being studied. You might develop dependency. You might get headaches, insomnia, anxiety, or that delightful, I can't sleep but my soul is exhausted feeling. And if you abuse it, your sleep cycle might turn into a haunted house. Also, your productivity might soar while your emotions flatline, because focusing like a robot isn't always a good thing when you're still a human being. So yes, Modafinil is the valedictorian of stimulants. But even straight-A students can burn out and cry in the shower. Okay, strap in. We've reached the final level. The most unholy stimulant concoction of them all. Speedballs. It's what happens when someone thinks mixing a stimulant and a depressant is a good idea. Spoiler alert, it's not. The most infamous combo? Cocaine plus heroin. Yep, upper plus downer. It's like hitting the gas and the brakes at the same time and wondering why the car flips into a ditch. The stimulant part, cocaine, makes you feel energized, euphoric, confident. The depressant, heroin, makes you feel relaxed, numb, and blissed out. Together, they create a temporary illusion of balance, until one drug wears off faster than the other, and your body gets thrown into absolute chaos. Your heart's confused. Your lungs are confused. Your brain, screaming into the void. Speedballs are incredibly dangerous. They dramatically increase the risk of overdose, because people don't realize how much of either drug they've taken. The depressant can mask the stimulant's effects, making users think they can handle more, until their system shuts down completely. It's the stimulant equivalent of skydiving with a backpack full of bricks and praying there's a parachute in there somewhere. So, where does that leave us? Stimulants can make you feel alert, alive, unstoppable, and sometimes even genuinely better when used responsibly and prescribed. But misuse, abuse, or chasing the high, that's when the ride gets dark. Fast. From the innocent jitters of caffeine to the soul-scorching chaos of meth, stimulants span a wild, dangerous spectrum. Some will just make you skip sleep. Others will make you forget who you are. And the worst of them? They'll convince you nothing's wrong until it's way too late. That's all for today. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos coming soon.